What is going on, you guys? AK40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven. Why don't you crank that Soulja Boy? Why don't you crank that Soulja Boy? Why don't you buy one of my cheap-ass janky third-party Chinese consoles from Wish? Let's get it. Alrighty guys, share my screen here. I have a couple of articles pulled up here. I've made some highlights on them so I don't forget any of my key points and whatnot. Of course, I have all my sources linked in the description below in case you guys want to read the full articles or just find out where I get my resources and my information from. So, in 2018, you guys probably remember Soulja Boy had a website up where he would sell knockoff Apple Watches for like $30 a pop. They were super janky, super cheap, and he, of course, sold gaming consoles. You guys probably remember that. There was a home version that looked like a Xbox One S. People have done disassemblies of them and seen what's inside there is literally a little tiny PCB or printed circuit board about this big, and they run third-party indie games that somebody designed in their parents' basement. Somebody programmed them on their lunch break, but it also did have some licensed Nintendo titles of classics like from the NES and SNES. You know, Nintendo's protective enough about their intellectual property, even doing what I do, where I build retro consoles for myself in little... I'm back, boys. I'm back. I had to scoot my ass over there. Even just building Raspberry Pi, RetroPie operating system, little mini gaming consoles for yourself and downloading a bunch of ROMs and emulators. By the way, I had just about the entire NES and SNES library, but they are all legal backups of games I have owned the physical copy of one time in my life or another. Just misplaced the cartridges. Anyway, but doing this right here, what he's doing, blatantly trying to package Nintendo games into his console without kicking them any kind of VIG or buying copyrights from them for their games, their trademark. Granted, these are old games, you know, like 20 years old, but still, it's still their intellectual property, and he's trying to package it up into a super cheap box, which he does not build, by the way, and sell it for $200. That's pretty ridiculous. And then he made handhelds for a while, which had a mixture of third-party indie knockoff games, like I had mentioned, programmed in somebody's lunch break, and then also, again, licensed Sega and Nintendo classics, which Sega didn't really give a shit. They're just like, okay, those games are old. We don't care. We're not even in the game anymore. We did the Genesis, we did the Sega Saturn, we did the Dreamcast. This little rapper boy's using our games. Cool. They don't care. But Nintendo is insane with their intellectual property, so of course they're going to jump down the throat of this guy and sue the titties off him. So he had to stop making them a month after producing these bad boys. And they were bad boys. They were not good. Looking at this is his new console here, his new updated revision as he is making a new console. But literally, you can go onto Alibaba.com or AliExpress.com or Wish and buy a console just like this. It'll take quite a while to ship to you, probably like over a month, because I bought stuff from like directly from Chinese warehouses in the past. And that's literally what he was doing. It was a drop shipping business model, which I get it. I respect the hustle, but not really, because he went about it completely harebrained and half cocked. His revolver was half cocked here. It would have jammed. And revolvers don't jam, so that's saying a lot. But he was trying to drop ship these bad boys, where he was clearly buying bulk or massive inventory of these janky knockoff consoles that are loaded with a bunch of crappy old emulators. They didn't even run good. That's the thing. Like, I build one of these little mini consoles here for about 70 or 80 bucks, and I have like 30,000 games across 40 platforms of 40 consoles, and they all run as good as the original, if not better, with frame rate boosts and whatnot. By the way, I will have linked in the description below a tutorial video where I go over how to build one of these bad boys. It's actually quite simple and very rewarding to play some retro games if that's what you're into. But this dude is trying to charge astronomical prices. When I say astronomical, because that could mean a lot of different things to different people, 6 to 7 times what it cost him to produce these bad boys. He would buy them from probably, most likely, Alibaba, where you can get bulk inventory. So 500 to 1,000 units at a time at a very low price, which they're already cheap even if you're just buying like one for yourself off AliExpress, and then selling them with his branding on them, as he had a little bit of clout from his, Crank That, which is super old now, and it wasn't even that great of a song to begin with. So he's building an all-new console from scratch, all new design, all new games, all new deals. Let's make history. This is something he tweeted out a few days ago. He is not building a console. I guarantee that he is not doing R&D like Microsoft and Sony. He's not building a console. He's finding out a new way to not get sued doing a drop shipping business model. All new design. This looks strikingly familiar to what you had in 2018. Soulja Boy stopped selling his systems less than 1 month after he began, admitting that he had to boss up. I didn't have a choice. The day before he stopped selling them, he wrote in a now deleted tweet, "For anyone that thinks Nintendo is going to sue me, nothing gonna happen. Everything here legit. My console isn't going anywhere. Trust, you heard?" With Nintendo slapping him with a cease and desist letter, basically saying, if you do not stop producing these consoles and selling them immediately, we are going to sue you. And I'm sure that was a nice little 6-figure lawsuit there. And I don't really think he has money like that to play around with. For one, I don't know about how entrepreneurial he is with his finances. I don't know if he's invested, saved, started any businesses besides this harebrained scheme here. But he hasn't made any music in a while, and I don't think he has a very lucrative portfolio either, so I don't think he can handle a lawsuit. He can't lawyer up, especially not like Nintendo can. And then down here it says, I love this, IGN says, it'll also have tough competition from the 4K, 240 frame per second KF console. I'm going to make a separate video. KFC Chicken actually said they were going to make a console. Pretty sure it's a joke, but still worth a video because they had pictures of it. It looks like a chicken bucket and whatnot. And it keeps your chicken warm while you game. So you put your chicken in there. It's like a mini oven, but what's heating up is your gameplay. What's hot isn't just the chicken skin, but the way you're getting underneath the enemy's skin on the battlefield. It's a great gaming console. I'm getting one. They talk about how he sold rebranded Chinese games consoles running unlicensed ROMs. ROMs, by the way, a .ROM file, that's your like retro games, your emulators. So you'll get like a Sega Genesis ROM, PSP ROM. You can even emulate all the way up to like PS2 and Xbox original. He posted this on his Instagram, and oh boy. For one, wired consoles in 2021. This little retro bad boy here, I can hook Bluetooth to, no problem. Like, are you really running a wired controller? Not to mention the console itself. This button right here, which is the only physical button on there, looks like it's about to fall off just stationary in the picture. This little button here, the fit and finish, or the fitment, if you will, looks looser than a $2 Lady of the Night on a hot Saturday night. This console itself looks less durable than fine china. One drop and it's donezo. You hate to see it. Also, just 2 controller ports. You can only play with 2 people. Pretty sure there's other knockoff retro consoles for about $35 online where you can play with up to 4 players, just saying. And this article here mentions how he's had multiple failed attempts. Like I mentioned, he's tried to do watches. He tried to do knockoff AirPods. They were called Soulja Pods. He's just using his title, his name as a D-tier rapper to kind of like try and get people to buy consoles. Which is really, really disappointing because they're really crappy consoles. Unfortunately, all these efforts seem to offer low-quality imitations, such as the Soulja Boy handheld, a portable that looked eerily similar to a PS Vita, and the retro Soldier Mini, which featured preloaded copyright Nintendo games. I ain't gonna get sued. There's certainly a market for video game systems outside those from Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, but it's hard to take this one seriously. That is very true, and I say this all the time. I would like to see more companies out there that have a background in the tech space, such as Dell, maybe. They already make Alienware, to get into the console game. There's been a lot of companies talk about it in the past, you know, like a dedicated Samsung, who, by the way, makes televisions. They make phones, obviously, like the Galaxy and the Note, to make a console. They already have silicon chips coming in, you know, making printed circuit boards and whatnot for phones and TVs and stuff. They could make a console. Wouldn't be that crazy, you know. Nvidia kind of has a console. They have the Shield, which is more of a TV set-top box, but you can game on it with the GeForce Experience. So, I mean, we always think of the major 3, right? Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, but back in the day, like Sega was in there. Atari currently has a console out right now, a new gen console that runs like an old Linux computer. It's whack. It's called the VCS, I believe. I'm going to get that thing on this channel. I will review that bad boy and disassemble it and see what makes it tick. But yeah, overall, just a harebrained move from Soulja Boy, but not surprising though. And I'm curious to see how long it will be before he either gets shut down, sued, or decides that this isn't lucrative enough for him to keep the operation up and running. Drop in the comment section below what you think of this debacle here, this pickle that we're sucking on together. And subscribe for more content like this, where I cover a lot of gaming news, a lot of hickory-dickory bullshit that we find around the gaming community and industry. Tallywhack that notification bell so you're aware when new videos come online. And liking the video does help it to get seen by others, as YouTube does me no favors when it comes to the algorithm. Occasionally I'll see myself in a recommended feed, but very rare. So help your boy out. Not Soulja Boy, help your boy out trying to grow this here channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.